Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day. Don't forget, grab your smartphone and download the Lava Matra app and stay in touch. Guru Maharaj's message is your advantage. The following is a reading from the new Sri Krishna Chaitanya book by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj on June 1st, 2020 in Sri Mayapur, India.
Karoti Vachalam Mangalang Ayate Garam Yatkipatamahan Vande Sri Guru Dinatadinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Islam Hare Om Tat Sat. So, this is still on the description of the great Sankirtan.
So this is still on the great description of the Sankirtan,
Leading up to the Chandkazi.
leading up to the Chandkazi.
Just as Krishna, to fulfill his mission,
Just as Krishna, to fulfill his mission,
had the Kurukshetra war.
had the Kurukshetra war.
Lord Chaitanya's mission is to establish a Sankirtan Yagya.
Lord Chaitanya's mission is to establish the Sankirtan Yagya.
Of this Sankirtan that was held in Navadvip,
Of the Sankirtan that was held in Navadvip.
it was something out of this world,
It was something out of this world,
something that could not realized by anyone except Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
something that could not be realized by anyone except Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
And today we'll see or hear about the reactions of the atheists.
So today we will hear about the reactions of atheists and devotees after seeing the Sankirtan.
নগরিয়াগণের কৃষ্ণ উন্মাদ দর্শনে পাষণ্যগণের গাত্রদাহ। নগরিয়া সকলের উন্মাদ দেখিয়া মরায়ে পাষণ্ডী সব জ্বলিয়া পুরিয়া।
When the atheists saw the and ecstatic condition of the town people,
When the atheists saw the enmaddened, ecstatic condition of the townspeople,
and burned in envy,
they burned in envy. The atheists who maintained the mentality of opposing the process of worshipping and chanting the holy names always burned with envy and invoked one of the 10 types of death. To extinguish the fire in their bodies, they enviously became hostile to the devotees.
সকল পাষণ্ডী মেলি গনে মনে মনে গোসাই করেন কাজী আইসে ক্ষণে।
so all the atheists gathered together
So all the atheists gathered together
and desired simultaneously,
and desired simultaneously,
if the Lord, Nimai Pandit is willing,
if Nimai Pandit,
if the Lord is willing,
if the Lord is willing,
let the Kazi come now.
let the Qazi come now.
কোথা যায় রঙ্গ ঢঙ্গ, কোথা যায় ঢাক, কোথা যায় নাটগীর, কোথা যায় জাঁক।
What then will the pomp and show go?
What then will the pomp and show go?
Well, will the loud thing on the drums go?
Where will the loud banging on the drums go?
Where will the singing and dancing go?
Where will the singing and dancing go?
What will happen to the big show?
What will happen to the big show?
কোথা যায় কলাপতা ঘট আম্রসার এ সকল বচনের শোধিতবে ধার
What will happen to the banana trees?
What
and
will
the
happen?
water pots and mango leaves?
What will happen to their banana trees, full water pots, and mango leaves?
Will all receive a suitable reward for their threats.
They will all receive a suitable reward for their threats.
যত দেখো মহাতাপ দেউটি সকল যত দেখো হেরো সব ভাবক মণ্ডল
Kazi will see all these burning big torches.
The Qazi will see all these burning big torches,
And he will see all these sentimental devotees.
and he will see all these sentimental devotees.
গণ্ডগোল শুনিয়া আইসে কাজী যাবে সবার গঙ্গায় ঝাও দেখিবা তবে
When the Chandkaji comes and hears this great commotion,
When the Qazi comes and hears this great commotion,
and you'll see everyone at that time jump into the Ganges.
then we will see everyone at that time jump into the Ganges.
কেহ বলে মই তবে নিকটে থাকিয়া নগরিয়া সব গলায় বাঁধিয়া
Someone else said,
Someone else said,
I will stay around,
I will stay around,
tie by the neck all these residents of Navadip and turn them in.
and tie by the neck all those residents of Navadvip and turn them in.
কেহ বলে চলো যাই কাজিরে কহিতে কেহ বলে যুক্তি নহে এমন করিতে
Another said, let's go and tell and inform the Chandkaji.
Another said, let us go and inform the Chand Qazi.
But someone else said, not very sensible.
But someone else said, it is not very sensible.
কেহ বলে ভাই সব এক যুক্তি আছে সবের অর দিয়া যায় ভাবকের কাছে
Someone else said, my dear brothers,
Someone else said, I have an idea, brothers.
I have an idea.
I have an idea.
Let us quickly go and approach these sentimental devotees.
Let us quickly go and approach these sentimental devotees.
আইসে করিয়া কাজী বচন তোলায় তবে এক জানাও না রহিব তার ঠাঁই।
Then we will say, tell them,
Then we will say or tell them,
the Qazi is coming.
the Qazi is coming.
Then even one person will not remain here.
Then even one person will not remain here.
এই মতো পাষণ্ডী আপনা খায় মনে, চৈতন্যের গণ মত্ত শিহরি কীর্তনে।
And this way the atheists were conspiring amongst themselves.
In this way, the atheists were conspiring amongst themselves.
And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees
While Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees
were maddened in ecstasy
were maddened in ecstasy
by chanting the glories of Lord Hari,
by chanting the glories of Lord Hari,
engaging in Sankirtan.
engaging in Sankirtan.
শ্রী চৈতন্য ভক্তগণের অঙ্গ শোভা, সবার অঙ্গেতে শোভে শ্রীচন্দনমালা, আনন্দে গায়ন কৃষ্ণ সবে হই ভোলা।
They are all decorated with beautiful sandalwood pulp
They were all decorated with beautiful sandalwood pulp
and flower garlands.
and flower garlands.
And loving ecstasy,
In loving ecstasy,
they all chanted the name of Krishna.
they all chanted the name of Krishna.
তৎকালীন শিমুলিয়ার অবস্থান, নদিয়ার একান্ত নগর শিমুলিয়া, নাচিতে নাচিতে প্রভু উতরিলা গিয়া।
One of the neighborhoods of Navadip was the town known as Simulia.
One of the neighborhoods of Navadvip was the town known as Simulia,
And that was reached by Lord Gauranga as he danced and danced.
and that was reached by Lord Gauranga as he danced and danced.
He reached that place
And he reached that place. The village of Simulia, situated less than a mile northeast of Ganga Nagara, was located on the outskirts of Nadia.
and Nadia they mean Navadip.
By Nadia, they mean Navadvip.
ভক্তমুখে হরিকীর্তন শ্রবণে প্রভুর সাত্ত্বিক বিকার, অনন্ত অর্বুদ মুখে হরিধ্বনি শুনি, হুঙ্কার করিয়া নাচে দ্বিজকুল মণি।
Unlimited millions of mouths
Unlimited millions of the people
chanting the names of Hari.
chanting the names of Hari.
Hearing the unlimited millions of people chanting the name of Hari.
Hearing the unlimited millions of people chanting the names of Hari
As the crest jewel of the twice born,
as the crest jewel of the twice born,
Lord Gauranga
Lord Gauranga
danced and roared loudly.
danced and roared loudly.
Haribo!
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 সে কমল নয়নে বা কত আছে জল, কতেক বা ধারা বহে পরম নির্মল।
how much pure water comes from the lotus eyes of Lord Chaitanya.
Who knows how much pure water came from the eyes of Lord Chaitanya?
Who knows how much pure liquid flows from the tears of his eyes?
Who knows how much pure liquid flows from the
Lotus
tears
eyes of the Lord.
of the lotus eyes of the Lord?
কম্পভাবে উঠে পড়ে অন্তরিক্ষ হইতে কান্দে নিত্যানন্দ প্রভু না পারে ধরিতে
Shivering in ecstasy,
The
Lord jumped high almost into outer space.
Lord jumped high almost into outer space
And then fell down.
and then fell down.
Nityananda Prabhu was crying
Nityananda Prabhu was crying
in lamentation
because
he could not catch the Lord.
The Lord,
Gauranga.
Lord Gauranga.
সেবা যে হয় মূর্ছা আনন্দ সহি পহর এক ধাতু নাহি সবে চমকি
Eventually, the Lord fell unconscious in loving ecstasy.
Eventually, the Lord felt unconscious in loving ecstasy,
Everyone became shocked
and everyone became shocked
when his body showed no signs of life for 3 hours.
when his body showed no signs of life for 3 hours.
প্রভুর অপূর্ব ভাবাবেশ দর্শনে বিবিধ জনের বিবিধ উক্তি এই মতো অপূর্ব দেখিয়া সর্বজন সবেই বলেন এ পুরুষ নারায়ণ
On seeing these wonderful characteristics,
On seeing these wonderful characteristics,
all those present concluded
and said,
this personality must be Lord Narayan.
This personality must be Lord Narayan.
কেহ বলে নারদ প্রহ্লাদ সুখ যেন কেহ বলে যে সে হো মনুষ্য নহেন
Some people said he like Narad. Someone said he like Prahlad.
Some people said he is like Narad. Some people said he is like Prahlad.
Others said he like Sukadeva.
And others said he is like Shukadev.
Others said whatever he may be,
Whatever he may be,
he's certainly not an ordinary human being.
he is certainly not an ordinary human being.
এই মতো বলে যেন যার অনুভব অত্যন্ত তার্কিক বলে পরম বৈষ্ণব
People spoke according to the way they had their realization.
People spoke according to the way they had their realization.
The very strict logicians
The
said,
very strict logician said,
he was a great Vaishnava.
he is a great Vaishnava.
বাহ্য নাহি প্রভুর পরম ভক্তি রসে বাহ তুলি হরিবোল ঘোষে।
Lord Gauranga was devoid of external consciousness,
Lord Gauranga was devoid of external consciousness,
being in the topmost mellows of Bhakti Yoga,
being in the topmost mellows of Bhakti Yoga,
devotional service,
devotional service.
raising his two arms,
Raising his two arms,
he chanted
loudly,
loudly, Haribo!
Haribo,
Haribo!
Haribo,
Haribo!
Haribo.
শ্রীমুখের বচন শুনিয়া একেবারে সর্বলোক হরি হরি বলে উচ্চ স্বরে।
Hearing once from the lotus mouth of the Lord,
Hearing once from the lotus mouth of the Lord,
Gauranga,
Lord Gauranga,
all the people began to chant
all the people began to chant
loudly,
Hari,
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 Haribo!
Haribol,
Haribo!
Haribol. Thus ends the chapter entitled Reactions of the Atheists and Devotees After Seeing the Sankirtan.
So you can see how devotees are experiencing great bliss.
So we can see how the devotees were experiencing great bliss.
They are completely absorbed in transcendental ecstasy of love of Godhead.
They were completely absorbed in the transcendental ecstasy of love of Godhead.
Very beautiful, decorated sandalwood bulb and flower garlands.
They were very beautiful, decorated with sandalwood pulp and beautiful garlands.
They were responding to the Lord's chanting and dancing.
They were responding to the Lord's chanting and dancing.
At the same time, the atheists
At the same time, the atheists
were burning in envy.
were burning in envy.
They are thinking various negative things.
They were thinking very negative things.
And they were deprived of this ecstasy.
They were deprived of this ecstasy.
And they thought that Shankazi will come and all the people will run.
And they thought that the Chandkazi would come and all the people would run.
So, in this way, they were deprived of the special mercy of the Sankirtan.
So, in this way, they were deprived of the special mercy of the Sankirtan.
And Lord Chaitanya he started Sankirtan after lunch.
And Lord Chaitanya started the Sankirtan after lunch.
I don't know how many hours it went on for.
I don't know how many hours it went on for.
It seems that he reached Chandkazi late at night.
It seems that they reached the Chandkazi late at night.
Maybe like when Krishna dances in Vrindavan,
Maybe like when Krishna dances in Vrindavan.
sometimes a day of Brahma goes by
Sometimes a day of Brahma goes by.
and the devotees are dancing with Krishna.
When the devotees are dancing with Krishna.
And although by external vision only one night passes,
And although by external vision only one night passes,
actually 1,000 Chatra Yugas of time go by.
But actually, 1,000 Chatur Yugas of time go by.
How much time actually went by for the devotees of this Sankirtan?
So, how much time actually went by the devotees doing Sankirtan?
It's hard to say.
Is hard to say.
Krishna can do anything.
Krishna can do anything.
He's the Lord of time.
He is the Lord of time.
Seems like this kirtan was going on and on.
It seems like this kirtan was going on and on.
Somehow the devotees were having more and more ecstatic as time went on.
And somehow the devotees were becoming more and more ecstatic as time went on.
But unfortunately, with the atheists,
But unfortunately, with the atheists,
they were getting more envious as time went on.
they were getting more envious as time went on.
We heard that some atheists became affected by the chanting and started to dance and chant.
But we heard that some atheists became affected by the chanting and started to dance and chant.
But apparently, some maintained their enviousness.
But apparently, some maintained their enviousness.
And at this point, they still hadn't realized the glory of the Sankirtan.
At this point, they still hadn't realized the glory of the Sankirtan.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Question. Hare Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj. Please accept my respectful obeisances. Sometimes atheist people complain that our God always likes narcissism. As a result, he, God, does not ready to hear his criticism and always becomes angry and tries to kill and curse atheists. Could you please help to explain it? Your servant, Shubhra De Babu.
The Lord doesn't personally take apart except if his devotee is being threatened.
The Lord doesn't really take a part except if his devotee is being threatened.
And what we all owe everything to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
And we all owe everything to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
And this is the reality.
And this is the reality.
We can't live without sunlight.
We can't live without sunlight.
You don't provide it. You don't provide it.
You don't provide it.
Krishna provides it.
Krishna provides it.
Similarly, he sees to the maintenance of everyone.
Similarly, he sees to the maintenance of everyone.
One person maintains everyone else.
One person maintains everyone else.
So the atheists are very envious. I think the Lord is preoccupied.
So the atheists are very envious. They think the Lord is preoccupied
Adoration of himself.
in admiration of himself.
But he is the source of everything.
But he is the source of everything.
If someone commits blasphemy or offenses to him,
If someone commits blasphemy or offenses to him,
he doesn't personally take a role in that.
he doesn't personally take a role in that.
He has agents that give people their pious and impious results.
He has agents who give people their pious or impious results.
And so if one is envious of the Lord, they get punished.
So if one is envious of the Lord, they get punished.
That's not directly his. He doesn't want that. He'd rather have people be uplifted.
He doesn't want that. He'd rather the people be uplifted.
But to teach them, people are punished according to their activities.
But to teach them, people are punished according to their activities.
Since they steal from others, cheat others, since they cheat others,
Since they cheat,
steal from others,
others and steal from others,
and then they get the reaction from their bad karmas.
then they get the reaction from their bad karmas.
If they give charity, if they help others,
If they give charity, if they help others,
they get good karma.
they get good karma.
If they engage in devotional service,
If they engage in devotional service,
they get delivered from this material world.
they get delivered from this material world.
If they engage in persecuting devotees,
If they engage in persecuting devotees,
and if they're if they're envious of the Lord,
and if they're envious of the Lord,
and they stay in this material world,
then they stay in this material world,
life after life.
life after life.
That's what they want. They don't want to be where the Lord is.
That's what they want. They don't want to be where the Lord is.
I don't know why you accuse the Lord of being a narcissist.
So I don't know why you accuse the Lord of being a narcissist. Dearest Guru Maharaj, please accept my respectful obeisances again and again. Someone that has never prayed before is asking me about it. He is in a suffering condition and ready to try anything evidently. If it pleases you, can you speak to us of offering prayers? Haridhwani Devidasi.
The highest form of prayer is to sing or chant the name of the Lord.
The highest form of prayer is to sing or chant the names of the Lord.
We pray, and maybe not a very good prayer.
If we pray, it may be not a very good prayer.
So that's why the Sankirtan or chanting of the holy name is recommended in the Kali Yuga.
So that's why the Sankirtan or chanting of the holy name is recommended in Kali Yuga.
One chants the name of Nrsimhadev 21 times, they can get delivered from various sufferings.
If one chants the name of Nrsimhadev 21 times, they can get
Relieved from various sufferings.
relieved from various sufferings.
Shri Nrsimha, Jai Nrsimha, Jai 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 Nrsimha.
Shri Narsimha Jai Narsimha Jai 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 Narasimha.
21 times.
21 times.
Otherwise, chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You can chant 54 times, 108 times.
You can chant 54 times or 108 times.
So, the name of Krishna is worth 3,000 names of Vishnu.
So the name of Krishna is worth 3,000 names of Vishnu.
And Rama is worth 1,000 names of Vishnu.
And the name Rama is worth 1,000 names of Vishnu.
So, by this Hare Krishna, Hare Rama mantra,
So with this Hare Krishna, Hare Rama mantra,
you get so much spiritual benefit.
you get so much spiritual benefit.
And the side benefits are that material something is mitigated.
And the side benefits is that material suffering is mitigated.
But the real benefit is that one awakens one's love of Godhead.
But the real benefit is that one awakens one's love of Godhead.
Next question. Please ask the people to chant one of the mantras.
Please ask the people to chant one of the mantras.
And then say, since there may be some error in our chanting before we chant the Panchatattva mantra. Since there may be offense in our chanting,
Since there may be no offense while chanting, one can chant the Panchatattva mantra before.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Sri Gaur Bhaktivinoda.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
If that's too much of a tongue twister,
If that's too much of a tongue twister,
I can chant Nitai Gauranga.
they can chant Nitai Gauranga.
That can be told to them like neat, N-E-A-T, neat I am neat.
They can be told to them neat, N-E-A-T-I, neat I.
O G-A-U
G-A-U, go,
dash rung. R-U-N-G
and R-U-N-G, rung.
Rung.
Gauranga.
So Nitai Gauranga.
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 You chant a long Panchatattva mantra or chant a short 7 times.
You can chant the long Panchatattva mantra or the short one 7 times.
So I'll tell you, said that tonight there are many questions.
So tonight there are many questions. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my respectful obeisances.
Accept it.
With the present scenario, can you please let us know how we should go about with the Snana Purnima festival for Jagannath, Baladev and Shubhadra Mai? Your servant Anadi Jagannath Das.
Oh, we're trying to figure it out.
Well, we're trying to figure it out.
But that's the 5th of June.
But that's the 5th of June.
4th of June is the Chiradoi Mahotsav.
4th of June is the Chiradoi Mahotsav.
Right now, that's our focus.
Right now, that is our focus.
But I'm thinking about the Snan Yatra. I'll tell you later.
I'm thinking about the Snan Yatra. I'll tell you later.
I think that, we can't have large people gather without maintaining social distancing.
We can't have large people gathering without maintaining social distancing.
And apparently the places of worship are not being opened until 8th of June.
And apparently the places of worship are not being opened until 8th of June
In India.
in India.
Bengal, maybe I don't know. We heard conflicting reports. We heard that the places of worship may be open June 1st today.
In Bengal, we don't know. We heard
that 1st of June.
We heard that 1st of June the places of worship may open,
But only 10 people allowed.
but only 10 people allowed.
I asked them to check on the website
So I asked them to check on the website.
of the government. But I think that
What the government wants.
you have to perform the Snan Yatra in the temple.
But I think that we have to perform the Snan Yatra in the temple.
Just with some pujaris.
Just with some pujaris.
And hopefully you have a way of broadcasting the pictures of the Snan Yatra to your congregation.
And hopefully you will have a way of picturing the broadcast of Snan Yatra to your congregation.
I should broadcast the picture. You should picture the broadcast.
I should picture the
broadcast the picture.
I should broadcast the picture.
Not you. The temple should have a system of broadcasting the video
The temple should have a system of broadcasting the video
to the congregation.
to the congregation.
See what the government rules are and how you can adhere to that.
And see what the government rules are and how you can adhere to that.
All right, next.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Please accept my respectful obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Haribo.
Guru Maharaj, by hearing from you about Lord Gauranga's Sankirtan movement and hearing different advanced devotees like Sachinandan Swami, etc., I remember that the holy name is the beginning, the middle, and the end. But then we do one service or another that almost forget the most important thing, going from Krishna's name to Krishna's form, qualities, and pastimes. How to be focused on that always. Your insignificant spiritual daughter, Ojaswini Radhika Devi Dasi.
We're advised to always remember Krishna and never forget him.
We're advised to always remember Krishna and never forget him.
And so in this age, you can always remember Krishna's name and never forget it.
So in this age, we should always remember Krishna's name and never forget him.
Whatever we do, we should chant the holy name.
And whatever we do, we should chant the holy name.
And this way, we can always remember Krishna.
In this way, you can always remember Krishna. How can an aparadhi be elevated to the Kirtaniya Sadahari stage? Abhirama Gopadas.
The third verse of the Shikshashtaka
The third verse of the Shikshashtaka
is that if we practice those principles, you can always chant the holy names. If we follow the principles.
If we follow those principles, then we can always chant the holy name.
Principles of the third chapter of the third verse.
The principles of the third verse of Shikshashtaka.
Manena manadena kirtaniya sadahari.
Amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari.
Offer respect to others.
Offer respect to others.
Don't expect any respect for yourself.
And don't expect any respect for yourself.
Be more humble than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree.
Be more humble than a blade of grass and more tolerant than a tree.
And you can always chant the holy name.
Then you can always chant the holy name.
Kirtaniya sadahari.
Kirtaniya Sadahari. How should we observe Nirjal Ekadashi?
If you want, you take it without water.
If you want, you take it observe it without water.
But I personally never saw Srila Prabhupada observe the Ekadasi with complete fast.
I personally never saw Srila Prabhupada observe the Ekadashi with a complete fast.
But Ekadasis, you get more fruit if you observe it
But Ekadashis, you get more fruit if you observe it
fully by no water,
fully by no water,
stay out the whole night,
staying up the whole night,
and break your fast next day with some milk,
and break your fast the next day with some milk,
and then some grains.
and then some grains.
Well, I asked my secretary to read me the glories of the Ekadashi tomorrow.
I asked my secretary to read the glories to me of the Ekadashi tomorrow,
But he didn't answer.
but he didn't answer.
He said he sent a message to another secretary to tell him how to do it.
He said he sent a message to another secretary to tell him how to do it.
Just to hear the glories of Ekadashi, it usually tells you that the fruit of listening to Ekadashi is donating 1,000 cows.
Just to hear the glories of Ekadashi, usually we hear that the benefit is donating 1,000 cows,
Or every Ekadashi is different.
or every Ekadashi is different.
One Ekadashi I heard twice
One Ekadashi I heard twice
from two different Puranas.
from two different Puranas.
Each Purana said to just hear the Ekadashi,
Each Purana said, just hear the
you
Ekadashi,
get the karma of giving 1,000 cows.
you get the karma of giving 1,000 cows.
I gave 2,000 cows
So I gave 2,000 cows
without even observing the Ekadashi.
without even observing the Ekadashi.
And then I observed it also.
But then I observed it also.
So I wanted to hear about the glories. So we're getting out to observe the Chiradoi Mahotsav.
Also, we're gearing up to observe the Chiradoi Mahotsav.
I'm probably going to make a number of offerings to the deities.
I'm personally going to make a number of offerings to the deities.
Pujari said 12, I'm trying to do 15 or more.
The Pujari said 12, but I'm planning to do 15 or more.
So that day, this Danda Mahotsav, the day that Nityananda Prabhu punished Das Raghunath.
That day is Danda Mahotsav, the day where Nityananda Prabhu punished Das Raghunath.
Nityananda is very humorous.
Nityananda is very humorous,
His punishment is actually a blessing.
so his punishment is actually blessings.
By that blessing, he got Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet.
By that blessing, he got Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet.
He became one of the 6 Goswamis
He became one of the 6 Goswamis,
and so many things.
and so many things.
So if we want to participate in the Danda Mahotsav,
So if we want to participate in the Danda Mahotsav
we get the punishment of Lord Nityananda.
and get the punishment of Lord Nityananda,
We want to help Das Raghunath Das,
if you want to help Dasa Raghunath Das,
then send your donation to the Mayapur.com.
then you can send your donation through the Mayapur.com.
We've already got sourced out the different ingredients.
We've already searched out the different ingredients.
I'll share the offering with you on the Mayapur TV.
And we will share the offering with you on the Mayapur
If
TV.
you're fortunate enough to be here in Mayapur,
But if you're fortunate enough to be here in Mayapur,
I'll try to give every one of you some prasada.
we'll try to give every one of you some prasadam.
Haribol. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Do you like our ad-free videos? Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.